my head toss, check my nails. Baby, how you feeling? Head toss, check my nails. Baby, how you feeling? Woo, child, tired of the...
Alrighty. Now we're getting into marriage. What's happening in your marriage? At this point, you're married. So you might not have kids yet, but you have some type of responsibility together. Whether it be a pet, the housework, something. You have something together if you're married. Well, all of a sudden, life gets you. Life gets you. And this isn't just for married couples. This is for married couples or couples who have been together so long, they might as well be married. Life grabs you. You become busy. You get in a rut. You're doing the same things every day. You get bored. That is where things go bad. That is where things go really, 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 really bad. When you let life and the children get in the mix, there should be parenting time. Yes, because they're your children. You both need to spend time with the children. But at the end of the day, there still needs to be that spouse time. You have to make time for the spouse time. Because if you don't, you two are going to slip so far away from each other that when you do have spouse time, you're not even going to know who each other is anymore. And it has happened to me. Trust and believe that it has happened to me. I didn't even know. And this isn't just, I'm not speaking just in regards of my ex-husband. I'm talking about some of my extended amount of time relationships too. My very long relationships where we might as well have been married and we lived together. Those types of things. Okay? So, oh yeah. When we finally popped out of our rut and went on a date, we did not know who each other was, and it was awkward. I felt like I was on a date with a stranger. But with my ex-husband, we did let that happen to us. We got in a rut and we drifted farther and farther and farther and farther and farther and farther apart. And then sometimes you're so far out that neither of you even want to come back, because you've been away from it from so long, you don't even realize what you're missing, if that makes sense. Yeah, we took the kids' phones. You guys know we take their phones at 9 o'clock at night. They don't get them back till they get home from school. I have been hearing all kinds of noises coming from that basket. It sounds like rocket ships taking off, cash register noises, little baby doll sounds talking, mama. And I was like, because I knew I was here alone. It took me a minute to figure out it was coming from that basket and it was phones, because I was getting ready to pack me a bag and roll out. You hear me? I was like, Annabelle? Chucky? Is that you? The next thing that lets you know things are not going great in your marriage and is a red flag, you might need to do something about it, is if your husband or your long-term partner starts disrespecting you in front of friends and family. Because then everybody has opinions, and then things are going to be said, issues are going to come about. You need to take the initiative and you need to make that first step, and you need to confront him and say, first of all, why do you feel that you can disrespect me in front of whoever? Because if you don't have children yet, or even if you do, and he starts disrespecting you in front of your children, whole nother ball game, buddy. Because if you have a daughter, your daughter's gonna think it's okay for a man to talk to her that way, and if you have a son, it's gonna make him think it's okay to talk to a female that way, and you don't want either one of them. Don't want it. Don't want it. Another one is not just disrespecting you in front of these people, but making fun of you in front of these people. And they usually do this for their own gain, to make them feel bigger, to make them to make people laugh at what they're doing, but then in reality they're hurting your feelings, and they don't care because they have the satisfaction of knowing, well, I had all these people laughing. All they care about is the reaction that they're getting out of other people, and they're just disregarding the fact that they're hurting your feelings. So that is not okay. Another one, this is a good one. Downplaying your accomplishments. So let's say you're at work, your boss man walks up and he's like, I'm giving you a raise because you're a great employee. You get the job done, you pick up the slack, you do other people's jobs, you're always on time. Boom, bada boom, bada bam, giving you a raise. You're super excited. You know, first thing you want to do is call your husband or your long-term spouse. Hey, guess what? I got a raise. Okay. So that's all you get is a okay or uh-huh. So then you're just sitting there like, because you're super excited, right? Well, that they don't care about your happiness, or they're undermining your accomplishments and your efforts. And that is not okay either. And you deserve better than that as well. You deserve somebody that's gonna be like, whoa, oh snap, look at CEO over here, you know, making jokes about it. And when you get home, get ready, put on your favorite dress, because I'm taking you out to dinner to celebrate something. Even if they don't take you to dinner, at least an acknowledgement is better than nothing. Like, dang, I'm so proud of you for that. Let me cook dinner tonight. Lets you know that they care. There's no worse feeling in this world than feeling like you're with someone who does not care. If your partner patronizes you or belittles you in public, behind closed doors, in the bedroom, whatever. Things that happen in the bedroom are the most personal things, and those are the things that women are the most ashamed of. They are the most embarrassed of. And the way that our self-esteem and confidence is set up, you just better be lucky you got us in the bedroom, okay? So don't get me in there and then want to patronize me and belittle me, because it ain't happening again now, because you just ruined that. Even outside of the bedroom, just in general, belittling you, talking down to you, you ain't this, you're stupid, you'll never amount to anything, nobody else will want you, you know, those types of things. In one ear, out the other. Those are the people who have no confidence. Those are the people that have no self-esteem. Those are the people who are not happy with themselves. Those types always lead to abuse. They always do. It always leads to an emotional abuse first. 9 times out of 10 is going straight into physical after that. It always happens. This right here, I almost want to do a cartwheel for this one. This is my favorite one. If you're with someone who shares y'all's problems with everybody, oh, I can't stand it. When you're sharing your relationship information with somebody else, you're number one taking the chance of all the words getting twisted around, things being said that weren't said, and by the time it gets back to whoever, because it's gonna get back, it's not even what you said anymore. So that's the first mistake. The second mistake is who you're telling these things to. Do you want to know why? Just for instance here, say you're telling them to a female at work, because females are usually the only ones that'll listen, so that's always who guys run to with their relationship issues, because they're like, oh well, you're a female, you'll understand, let me sit down and spill my heart out to you. Don't do it, because this female might feel some type of way towards you, and if they didn't, the relationship and the bond that you're gonna get after this from sharing personal information, if she didn't have that feeling before, she might after. And now you know what you've done? You have opened her up into the whole world of your life, the things that irk your nerves, or the things that your wife or your long-term spouse aren't doing right. So you know what she's gonna do? Because now she feels some type of way because y'all got this bond, and she might not have didn't like you before, but she likes you now. So guess what she's gonna do? she's going to be the opposite of everything you told her you did not like. Even though that may not be who she is, she's going to fake it till she makes it, because now she wants you. Happens all the time. Guys run to these females. Oh, I really need to tell you this because you're a female, you'll get it, blah, blah, blah. The whole time she's sitting there thinking, I wonder what he looks like with no shirt on. Like, she don't care. Do you really think that female cares about helping you fix your problems with your wife? No, she does not. The other thing, I'm just going to roll right into this one because it all kind of ties together. If your husband or your long-term spouse is older, say late 30s, 40s, but all of a sudden they start acting 21. Little red flag there. Not a big one, but a little one, because usually that means they're feeling some type of way about their age. Men, let's face it, men or women hate the fact that we're all getting older. I damn near died when I turned 30 because I was terrified. I was like, am I going to wake up in the morning and my back's going to be hurting? It did, but I don't think it was because I turned 30. When these guys start acting not their age, they're most likely already looking for girls younger than you are. And usually when the kids go off to college and everything, that's when parents divorce, because the parents, they've been, you know, they're getting older. They're going through those midlife crises. They're like, all right, I'm ready to go back. I need to party now. I've lived my whole life raising these kids. They're gone. I'm ready. That's when I think those two should come together and start living their life. I think when your kids go off to college and your house is finally empty, I think that's when you two need to sit down and rekindle your relationship and get that spark back that you had when you made them babies, girl. If your man is 45, 50, all of a sudden he's walking around rocking, you know, Vans and a snapback, you might have yourself a little issue. You know, he might be trying to sneak up on a little 25-year-old honey at the workplace, and you might need to show up at his job and show him how young that you can be. And I'm not talking about sexual. I'm talking about throwing them hands, girl. No, don't. Don't show up at his job throwing hands. Don't do that. But do it. But don't. But if you do, video it, and my email is linked down below because I need to see this. Could he get any more louder dual exhaust on his truck? How much of a douchey do you need to be? If he's always, like if you leave to go to the store down the street and he calls you 4 times or texts you to see what you're doing, and he knew when you left the house that you was going right down the street to get some milk, and he can't leave you alone because he's scared to death somebody might look at you, roll out, honey. Roll out. Roll out. That, been there, done that, doesn't get better, gets worse with time. Promise. Boy, bye. Ain't nobody got time to be walking around Walmart trying to get a gallon of milk, holding my phone in my head. You know at the back of Walmart you ain't got no signal, and then my signal's gonna drop, and you know what you're gonna think? You're gonna think I'm down here talking to somebody, but I'm not. If your husband or your long-term spouse starts withholding or rejecting sex, been there, done that. Not only does it make us women feel like we weigh 1,400 pounds and we're disgusting and we're covered in body hair and we're greasy and we stink and we're just not attractive anymore and we look like Shrek. Not only does it make us feel like all of those things, like it just sucks the whole little bit of confidence that you did have, it just sucks it right out. Just sucks it right out. Because in our minds, we're like, all right, you're a man. And in a woman's mind, a man only thinks about one thing. And if I'm trying to give it to you and you're rejecting it, or you won't give me none, what's going on here? Because that's supposed to be all you think about, but now you don't want to do that. So my first question is, where are you getting it from? sometimes they may not be getting it from anywhere. Sometimes they may just be that deep in their feelings or so caught up in life that they just don't want to. And that's when you gotta sit down and you gotta reel him back in and get him out of that life rut. Or he's not giving it to you because he's getting it somewhere else. Those are like your only two options there. That's it. Gaslighting is when they try to make you think you're crazy by lying. They keep lying to cover up a lie, to cover up a lie, to cover up a lie. But in your mind, you know, I just poked myself in the eye. You know all of that happened, but you refuse to believe that it happened because he's constantly, oh, that's a bad cycle. That's a horrible cycle. I have been there, done that. The man, I'm gonna say man, I almost said a wordy dird. I almost said a dirty word, but I'm not gonna say that one. That man had me thinking, oh, he had me thinking I was crazy. But you don't even believe it anymore because you're so caught up in their BS that you're believing what they're saying. And that was their whole plan to begin with. So at the end of the day, you're going insane. Next one. If you and your partner have been together 7, 8, 9, 10 so on years, and you've done the same things, like every Sunday morning he gets up and cooks you breakfast and brings it to you in bed, or once a week you go out to dinner together and just enjoy each other's company, or anything like that that you've done repeatedly for all this amount of time, and then boom, all of a sudden it stops. Something's up. Something is up. Either he's not feeling it anymore, or something needs to be done. If you've done it for 7 years and now all of a sudden you're not doing it anymore, what has made you not do it anymore? Because apparently I noticed that you didn't do it anymore, so I appreciated it and I loved it, and so I'm gonna need it back. So I'm gonna need you to get it together. Usually it's just because they want you to acknowledge that they've done this for 7 years, and then they'll go back to doing it. Sometimes it may mean, look, I'm bored in this relationship, or I'm bored in this marriage. I don't want to do this anymore. I mean, it could be a whole variety of things, but you got to get down to the main reason as to why it stopped. Okay, we're almost at the end of my list of things. So say you've been with Bob for 5 years. You know, Bob's getting a little bored in not even just in the bedroom, he's just getting bored in general. Alright, you notice on his phone or whatever, you're flipping through his pictures, and you're starting to see these pictures that he's screenshotted, whether it be girls on Google or what have you, of they're in these little skimpy outfits, or they're in this skimpy little lingerie, or their hair is blonde, or their hair is blue or red or whatever. And then you notice they start wanting you to act and dress and do your hair those colors. No. The outfits, maybe. If you've been in a long-term relationship or a long marriage, you know, and you're trying to spice things up, if you're comfortable, then you can do those things. Then you go buy you some dental floss underwear and sprinkle bras and whatever you want to do if you're comfortable. You don't do that to make him happy, because then he's going to keep expecting it. You're not going to be comfortable, so the whole situation ain't even going to be fun anymore, because you're trying to do something to please him. He's having a blast, but you're not. Do not change your appearance, or do not change anything about yourself to make a man happy. You need to stay true to you. Those are my words of advice. So that really comes to my conclusion of red flags and relationships failing slowly but surely, going downhill in a spiral effect. Those are my thoughts on those things, because I've been there, done that, like I said. So the last little thing So a little summary of everything is, if you're lacking communication, if you're not having those healthy arguments anymore, if you're both to the point where you just don't even care to argue anymore, it's kind of like you're giving up. You don't even want to fight for it anymore. Because sometimes arguing can be a good thing, because you get things out, kind of like when people are drunk talking. Last thing I'm going to say is, do not live separate lives. Do not move into another bedroom because he snores too loud. You need to try to find a balance. There's got to be some type of balance. You got to have at least, if your lives are really busy and really hectic because you're both working, you have kids and sports and school and this and that, and everything is so busy all the time, find a hobby that you two can do together. Find a hobby that you guys like together. You have to find something to spend time together, because if you don't, like I said earlier, you're just going to drift farther and farther away, and that's when you get into the whole you're living separate lives and you're not even living a life together anymore. Which is, if that's even what you still want at that point, you're not doing it. And then you lose the connection. You got to have that connection. If you don't have the connection, you have nothing. If you get to a point where you're like, oh my God, do I even see myself having a future with this person anymore? It is time to do some soul searching. Don't sit there for another 10, 15 years waiting on the kids to get out of the house because you don't want to break up a family, and you know, you don't want the kids to be upset, and the kids are going to be upset either way. The kids are going to be upset if you stay because nobody's happy, and they don't see their parents being the loving parents to each other that they see all their friends being, like the flirting thing, and the kids are like, ew, don't do that. That's what kids need to see. They need to see that their parents are still in love. They don't need to see their parents living two separate lives. I think that's setting them up for failure. That's what I think. So kiss your husband in front of your kids. Kiss them. Hug them. Love all over them in front of the kids. Make them say, ew, 500 times a day. Because at the end of the day, you're doing them some good. You're showing them that you love each other, and that nothing can break that bond, and that you're always going to be there for each other, and that also means that you will always be there for them. And then when they're 25, they'll be like, I want to have a relationship and that love that my parents had. Right now it's disgusting. Ew, oh my God, you're touching. But when they're 25, they're gonna look for the same thing that they thought was disgusting when they were 5. I guarantee you. Guarantee you. They're gonna want to find the love that they saw their parents have. And that means something. That means you did something right. At the end of the day, when the house is quiet, that's our time. That it has to be our time. Has to. Because if you don't make time for yourself, ain't nobody gonna make time. Them kids don't care if you make time for yourself. They really don't. They could care less about 2 adults making time for themselves. They don't even know what that means. So if the kids ain't gonna make you make time for yourselves, so you gotta do it. You have to take that initiative. And if you want to save your marriage and you want to try to work things out, 1 o'clock or whatever time your kids go to bed, if they don't have a bedtime, give them a bedtime, a decent bedtime, to where you and your spouse have enough time without being exhausted to sit down and watch a movie together, or lay in the bed and talk about your day. So, with all of that being said, somebody's jealous. I don't know if she knows it or not, but she is in this video. She might not know that she is, but she is. She is very much in this video. Ah! She just tongued me down. She stuck her tongue in my mouth. Ew. La, 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 la. Don't do that again, ever. Don't ever. I'm so uncomfortable now. I'm so uncomfortable. Anyway, She's clearly jealous. We're going back to this jealousy. This is the type of relationship that you don't want. When you don't show them enough attention, they come and sit on your lap and stare at whatever you're talking to, because she just cannot figure this YouTube thing out, and try to tongue you down. Stay away from this type of relationship. It's toxic. You're toxic. Alright, so I'm gonna go give my puppy dogs some love so she'll quit aggravating me and making noises that I'm gonna have to edit out and make my job 20 times harder than it has to be. Izzy, say bye. Say bye. See you in the next one. Oh yeah, you're so dramatic. Y'all,